has many options, and Takeru is the best of the best from Japan, and now Takeru obviously wants to fight the best of the best in the world. But if you look at that division, there's so many amazing fights. Of course, I do want to do Rodtang versus Takeru. I don't know if that's the first fight or not. I don't know yet.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
But Rodtang wants to fight Takeru as well. Yeah.
Sure. And my second question is when are you planning to have an event in Japan?
Next year.
Next year.
Yeah, 100% next year. We're coming back to Japan.
100%.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't want to tell you the date yet. We already booked the venue. We already booked the stadium, but I don't want to say the date yet. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Sorry if you already answered this in Thai, but how did this live up to your expectations, and what's next for Superlek in your opinion?
Well, this was, by any measure, you could ask anybody in the Muay Thai community around the world or in Thailand, this is the biggest fight card in the history of Muay Thai. And that main event, the biggest fight in 50 years. And I say it's the most important fight in the history of the sport of Muay Thai because of the viewership numbers, right? Like 40 years ago, you had, the great fights like a Samat Payakun versus a Diesel Noi, which was like an epic fight like this. But Muay Thai was a very small industry back then, restricted only to Thailand, even only parts of Thailand. It was not like the way it is today. And obviously with one championships, global distribution of 190 countries, with the biggest broadcasters in the world, it's a different scale, right? I think the world, I could just see online, the numbers were bonkers. I think there was only 400,000 concurrent viewers on One Champion Thailand, like insane numbers. So I don't know, probably One Champion Thailand probably did, I don't know, like maybe 10 million views. I have no idea. I'll have to go look, but the numbers are going to be astronomical. Maybe 15 million, just on One Champion Thailand, Facebook. Forget about YouTube, forget about the global, forget about our TV distribution, I think tonight you saw the very best strikers on the planet, irrespective of martial art. Does not matter what martial art is practiced. These are the best of the best on the planet, especially Rodtang and Superlek. They could go against any martial artist striker, and they would crush them.
Julian from Combat Industries. As a CEO, let's talk about a few things. I was obviously watching you all night. You were making sure that everyone in the stadium was having a good time. You were observing the entire operation. What does the One Lumpini organisation and the movement mean for the growth of the sport? We've seen it explode this year.
Yeah, One Lumpini, has broken all viewership records in the history of Thailand by a large margin. It's the #1 rated show across any content stack. The #1 rated show compared to soap opera, sports, news, entertainment, movies, it doesn't matter. It's the #1 hit show in Thailand. Week after week, it's been #1 according to Nielsen. But if you walk around all over Thailand, it's become a mad craze. I'd say, of course, One Champion, we've been growing all over. We have millions of fans all over the world, but we've never had a country light up this way. When you look at our viewership numbers, okay, and you compare it to, let's say, the NFL in America, and you adjust it for population. Okay, America has 350 million people. We have 70 million people. It's actually as popular as NFL is. Or if you go to EPL in England, the same thing. The density, again, you map out as a country of 70 million, and you look at the viewership numbers we have. It's the same thing as if or IPL cricket in India. It's the same level of popularity density based on if you adjust for population differences. So obviously Muay Thai is a national treasure of Thailand, but again, we've never had this. It's truly the globalization of the sport. There's heroes like Jonathan Haggerty, Liam Harrison, who are the best of the best in the world. It's truly become a global sport all over the world. So it's not just Thailand. That I think is a big misunderstanding for where the sport is growing. Of course, for sure, One Lumpini has contributed to massive growth. All over the world, millions of fans and athletes and inspired little kids start training. I know across the country in Thailand, people, little kids are now, their dream is to become a fighter in one.
So another question. So for people that are watching it from home, the atmosphere tonight, you can't put into words.
Yeah.
We've never seen them be this packed. I think the stadium was extended past the curtains.
For sure, we I don't know for a fact, but luckily we have the Royal Thai Army in the house, because I'm sure we broke some laws tonight.
We were sitting on the steps.
Yeah.
We were sitting on the steps
Yes,
watching
yes,
it. So
yes.
explain to people at home the atmosphere. And obviously the crowd swayed. It was initially very
Yeah.
pro Rodtang,
Yeah.
and then went Superlek,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then you had the theatre of
Yeah.
of,
Yeah.
of
Well,
Superlek's hair going red.
Yeah.
You couldn't ask for a better sort
Yeah.
of entertainment package.
For sure. You know, it's crazy because obviously fans in this country, whether they're from abroad, from Thailand, are insane, because you know there's a few thousand people in that stadium, but it felt honestly like a 20 or 30,000 seater. It felt like one championship's big numbered events. I mean, I couldn't even hear. I was sitting next to Mikey Musumeci. I couldn't even hear myself talk. We were trying to talk. I was like, Superlek. I couldn't even hear. I couldn't even hear what he's saying. So it was electric. The energy, like, you know, it's. That's why the Thai media calling it the biggest event in 50 years, or actually in the history of Muay Thai, and the main event was the biggest fight in 50 years. I think is the correct one, but labeled by the Thai media, because the electricity, the energy, it's something that you can't manufacture or replicate or buy. It's when all the stars align. You have the biggest superstars of the sport fighting, and then you have the main event. Of course, I wanted it for the world title, but was not those 3 rounds the best 3 rounds you've ever seen?
Absolutely.
I mean, it was crazy.
And again, as a CEO of the organisation and globalising Muay Thai, the fan base is so diverse. There was children in the stands. There's families in the stands. There's the split between men and women. It's not heavily geared towards any sort of demographic. It's for everybody.
Well, that's funny, because you know when we were in Denver, Colorado, it was the same thing. The demographic, for whatever it is, one's brand resonates with families and genders across the board, and so you see a very healthy fan base in that regard. Versus, let's say, a typical combat sports, you might have like beer guzzling, you know, testosterone driven, like you almost have fights break out, you know, in the stadiums. I think the way we're doing it is you're representing authentic martial arts as the home of martial arts. So we see this in many countries. So it's not just Thailand that we see this mix of families and kids and women and men. I think the fan base around the world is truly now understanding that we're 180 degrees opposite of the UFC, okay? And of course, UFC is a great product too, but that's a product that's very driven by hatred and anger and divisiveness, and it attracts a different crowd. Ours is truly the home of martial arts. And I travel all over the world. I mean, obviously, I train all the time still in Jiu-Jitsu and Muay Thai, and I go to all these different gyms around the world, and I can tell you that by far we're the #1 promotion for martial artists and the martial arts community around the world. There's no question. You go to any martial arts school, we are the top choice of what they watch, what they like, and what they believe represents real martial arts.
I've got one final question. Looking at the sport and comparing it to the UFC, and let's be real, it's very aggressive. It's very, like you said, beer guzzlers, right? You can pick the demographic. For all the sponsors that are sitting on the sidelines at the moment, right? Because we love the sport. Everyone here loves the sport. There's a lot of money sitting on the sidelines watching what one championship is doing.
Yeah.
Because it's a wholesome sport. You know,
Yeah.
it's not a risk
Well,
for sponsors.
I would say the very best analogy I can give is one championship is F1 and UFC is NASCAR. That is a great, when you look at, let's say, racing sports, right? That would be an analogy. Both properties can succeed, but very different demographics, very different ethos and DNA, 180 degrees opposite. Yeah, I mean, that's the way to, yeah.
Solid burn right there. But anyways, I always like to equate, Alex from the Tiger, by the way, I like to equate MMA to like fine art, Oscar winning stuff. But Muay Thai is like Marvel blockbuster summer action. What is holding it back from becoming a worldwide dominating sport, and how are you going to spearhead that effort?
Look, we've grown organically across all the different martial arts, recruiting the very, very best of the best. We tell great stories of our athletes. And I think we have a product, whether it's one Friday fights like tonight, or whether it's our flagship, or one fight night, or whether it's our flagship numbered events. We just have a completely different production value and DNA from everything that exists, and a different way of approaching things. I think when you, again, go to any one champion event, we have a big one next Friday, or next Saturday, you'll see families and kids and men and women, and you'll see that it's It's people who appreciate the heroes, who appreciate the stories, who appreciate watching the very best of the best in martial arts. So I'm a big fan of mixed martial arts. I mean, I love mixed martial arts, but I just don't think that what's in the marketplace represents real martial arts, right? To be a phenomenal, even to be a world champion in mixed martial arts, you have to train jiu-jitsu, you have to train Muay Thai, you have to train wrestling. I'm just saying that we have and I think the viewership numbers speak for itself, right? We are the largest by far now, according to Nielsen, in terms of viewership numbers around the world as a combat sports promotion.
So back to Superlek, quite a week for him, missing weight, then putting on a legendary performance. What would you like to see happen next for him?
Well, I just said in Thai that I think only a rematch should happen, and I want to do it in Qatar in December, because I think there's a very natural storyline here. And then again, I'm trying to blow up all the different martial arts, and I think by bringing the very best of the best in Muay Thai into the Middle East and Europe and whatnot, it's just going to light up the whole place. Just in the same way when we brought Rodtang to the U.S., it blew up the U.S., right? So in Qatar we're going to have 5 different title fights across different martial arts, and I think you're going to see the very best of the best in MMA and Muay Thai, kickboxing, submission grappling, and the like. And I know next week you're seeing the first kind of special rules striking match, which is basically boxing and MMA gloves with a little bit of dirty boxing in it. That's the rule set, and we think that product is going to explode. I mean, we actually have Liam Harrison and John Lineker accepted, but Liam's doctor said, can he wait until January? So, who doesn't want to see Liam Harrison versus John Lineker in 4-ounce gloves with boxing rules coupled with dirty boxing? It's going to be a barn burner. It's going to be incredible. 2 unbelievable world championship martial artists from different sports going at it. So that's the thing about one championship, is that our platform is so big, and we do it across the different disciplines, that we're able to not only challenge our athletes across sports, but surprise and delight and excite our fans with new concepts and new ideas, and keep innovating and pushing the combat sports industry forward, as we have been for the last since I started the company.
So can I just get a recap of your